Hello and welcome to Adverbs 2.2. I just want to add a little tidbit in here that since we're going on week 3 now, and I think, what is it, week 4 or 5 of us like not seeing each other due to spring break and the initial shutdown time off. So it's like, I feel like I don't even have a class anymore. It's so sad to say, but I'm communicating to you in like very disjointed ways, and like you have no idea how much joy it brings me to see your Flipgrids on Friday because I actually get to like hear your voices and see your faces. So just know that I miss you, and I don't know if we'll see each other again, but maybe I will see you next year. Gosh, that's sad. Okay, sorry. Moving on. Adverbs 2.2. The goal for today is to be able to recognize and use nouns as adverbs. And I will say this is a very short concept. I say concept because it's not a short or unimportant lesson. It's just a short concept in the sense that it's really a limited sphere of how this particular rule is used. And so going forward, just know that this is going to only be 5 to 6 minutes, but you're going to have to refer back to it a few times to do your practice assignments. So we move on here. A few words that are usually nouns can act as adverbs. So today we're just specifically talking about nouns that can also be adverbs. So nouns used as adverbs answer the questions where or when about a verb. So those two things specifically. Back in the adjectives unit, we learned about all the different questions adjectives answer. At the beginning of this unit, we talked about the different questions that adverbs in general can answer, but specifically this type of adverb, nouns as adverbs, will only answer where or when about a verb. And note specifically, it's only ever going to be about a verb. It's not like all the other adjectives where it could be about a adjective or another adverb. So here's some examples of what this looks like. The crab crawled home. Yesterday, I went out for coffee. I got a lot of homework done today. We drove an hour out of town. I can barely see a foot in front of me in this fog. And I'm realizing that it seems like I either skipped a slide. No, that's right. I give the examples first. Okay, so here are all the examples of what this looks like. So home, yesterday, today, an hour, and a foot. As you can notice, just from your background knowledge of what a noun is, you can notice that these are all ideas or things. Home, yesterday, today, an hour, a foot. It's all something that we could describe or modify if it were standing as a noun. But when we think about it as an adverb, we think of it in a limited sphere of things that are sort of being measured or verbs that are being described in some way. So if you think back to when we learned about nouns as adjectives in our adjectives unit, there were like so many nouns that you could turn into an adjective. This was something that was certainly not limited. So when we think about nouns as adjectives, you can't really think like, oh, just any noun could be an adverb, just like it is an adjective. It's not the case. Nouns as adverbs are only used to express or specify time or place. Time or place. And these are all expressions or measurements. So if we think about words like today, tomorrow, yesterday, a year, a foot, an inch, the whole length, half length, etc. All of those things are measuring placement of something, an actual place, or a particular amount of time. I think about time, we think about those words like today or tomorrow or yesterday. Because if we're saying a verb, I am going to wash my clothes tomorrow, right? The verb is wash, and we know that it's going to happen tomorrow, so that it's ultimately an adverb modifying that verb. That's how that works. And the easiest way to truly understand this is just thinking about the only ways that adverbs can be used when they are nouns. Time, place. That will help you. Because you're never going to get mixed up if you know that these only fall into certain categories. So here's your pause and think for the day. Now that you know kind of what this looks like, there are 2 adverbs used in each of these sentences. So there's going to be 2 adverbs, but only one of them is going to be a noun as an adverb. And this is essentially just to challenge you guys to make that distinction between the adverbs you learned about yesterday, regular old adverbs, and nouns used as adverbs. So you learned yesterday about adverbs in general and what they do and what they can modify. Today, you learned what nouns as adverbs look like. So I'll read these sentences to you and I'll have you pause and try to pick out the 2 adverbs and distinguish which one is the noun as an adverb. So for 1, weekends, I like to take my little brother to a relatively unknown park. 2, both of us are eagerly awaiting our trip tomorrow. 3, I fully enjoy being outside in the warm sea air. Right? Why did I do that? Okay, so instead of doing a pause and think, because I apparently don't have a brain today, let me just give you the answers because I flipped that slide way too quick. Number 1, the 2 adverbs are weekends and relatively. Weekends is that expression of time. Relatively is modifying that verb unknown, or that adjective unknown. So we have 2 words doing the same job, but only one of them is a noun as an adverb. 2, both of us are eagerly awaiting our trip tomorrow. Our 2 adverbs are eagerly and tomorrow. Eagerly is modifying the verb awaiting, just like a normal adverb does, and tomorrow is also modifying the verb awaiting, but it's doing it as a noun. 3, I fully enjoy being outside in the warm sea air. Our 2 adverbs are fully and outside. All right, fully is modifying that verb enjoy, and outside is modifying the verb being. And we're kind of designating that place. We are being, where are we being? We're being outside. All right, so you can kind of see the trend. Time, place. All right, so here's what's due today. Just like yesterday, very same structure, your Tuesday check-in question, and then your 2.2 practice assessment. The assessment, again, is 10 questions. You will have unlimited attempts to get to 70% at least. Hopefully you get to more than that. It'll help to boost your grade up a little bit. And those things go into the gradebook right away. So make sure that you are doing your assignments and kind of using your gradebook as a checklist for things that you still have to get done. A lot of people had asked me to reopen things from weeks past, which I did because I know that it's been hard on some people keeping track of assignments, and I wasn't super clear about due dates. So if you see that any of the assignments in your sidebar are not complete, please go ahead and do those so that I can close those assignments and we don't have those lingering around to confuse you. All right, but what's due today is 2.2 practice assessment. Also, remember that my Zoom office hours, the very first one that is available to you, will be today, if you're watching this today, from 1 to 2 o'clock. And then Thursday, I will do it again from 1 to 2 o'clock. Again, those hours are available for you if you have specific questions on either specific chapters or specific parts of that chapter. Do not come into my Zoom session telling me you're confused about everything. Tell me specifically what you're confused about, and I will do my very best to help you. All right. Thank you very much, and I will see you tomorrow.